Guys, we'll come back to another video. Make sure to like and subscribe. Also, I want to take time to thank all my Patreon and OnlyFans supporters. Check out this new merch I dropped by now for $5 billion. This video is sponsored by Manscaped. Click the link in the description to buy this razor. Also, remember to hit that bell icon. Make sure to follow me on all my socials. Remember to share this with all your friends. Now let's start the video. Let's start.
Here's one thing you gotta know about brown rats, right? They can fit into very small spaces, such as like 15 millimeter ones, which is crazy because, I mean, for their size, they're smart too. Very intelligent creatures. They're the most related to humans. That's a fact. And, well, they can literally come out of your toilets. That's how like maneuverable they are. Like even if they're slippery, they can still escape, which is insane. They can breathe for long times underwater, which is crazy too, considering their size. You think like they wouldn't be able to breathe that much because the lungs are small and stuff. What are invasive species? Invasive species can be any type of organism that is not native to an ecosystem and causes harm to things such as environment, economy, or even human health.
There are two main things that attract rats: food and shelter. Rats eat almost everything, around 20% of the world's foods. They feed on roots, stems, leaves, flowers, fruits, and seeds of a number of species. Rats and mice also need shelter, particularly during winter, to avoid the worst of the cold. Thousands of brown rats live in Chicago more than anywhere else due to the amount of food there is around, and millions more in cities and on farms across the globe, and where they wreak havoc.
Buddy Gerald? What's wrong with you? You murdered him. He had a family. He had a family to go back to. He had his wife, Cassandra.
I'm dead.
Now you're gonna be the one that's like. Something you gotta know about rats as well. You know, they can fit into small spaces, places that are like small as 15 millimeters, which is insane considering you think that they probably wouldn't be able to fit into that. The other thing you have to know as well, rats can just crawl up into places that like are insane. Like even if they're slippery, like they can climb up toilets like if they were a snake. And they have good breathing, which is just insane because they're small. I mean, you know, you think their lungs would just be super small and think, well, that's insane somehow. I think that the best solution for rats, or for, you know, making rats not be invasive species, is to just pretty much manage your trash. Make sure it's not like littering everywhere, you know, on the ground, so on. Like if I'm looking around and there's like some paper, something, literally a bunch of trash, that's just like the opening of where I live. And, you know, that's just gonna attract rats. Another thing I'll mention is, you know, water. Because every living thing needs water. So if there's water around you, like a pond, a pool, a lake, yeah, increased chances, basically. And I think this is the best solution because, I mean, you know, if there's not a lot of food, the rats probably aren't going to be there. They're going to look somewhere else. And that would be good for the animals and plants because, you know, the rats wouldn't be eating the plants, or the animals' plants, you know, not endangering them and making it so they have to scurry for food. And plus, it helps with things like pollution, you know, stopping random trash going into like waterways and just eventually into the ocean and harming other life apart from land animals, you know. And, you know, it could help just stop disease, because if there's less rats, there's going to be less disease, and especially less rats in populated places where they're going to have that disease, meaning less death and less numbers because no food. Here's a common myth for you. Fun fact, many rats are depicted eating cheese, you know, like in Tom and Jerry. You know, Jerry loves the cheese, or in Ratatouille, you know, Remy having the cheese. many cartoons, many shows have just the rats having cheese, but that's not really what they like. They mostly like things like chocolate, peanut butter, or even meat, because it's just higher for them. They like it more. Obviously, if there's cheese, they're obviously gonna take that. But if there's something better than that, you know, they're gonna take it. That's cheese is the main thing that they're gonna eat, no matter what. Which is, you know, why it's a myth. Something insane that you have to consider and take into account is the amount of you know, offspring that the rats produce. They can have up to 2,000 per year, which is just a lot. You know, they can have up to 22 every time they have to give birth, meaning that, ooh, that's a ton. Imagine if every rat had a child or had offspring. You just see them everywhere, which is, you know, wouldn't be good for anyone.